Good morning Year 3 and welcome to Friday's maths lesson on the 29th of January. Right, so we're going to start off today. We've been looking at adding and subtracting tens from three-digit numbers. So today we're going to be looking at a combination. So to be successful today, you need to check carefully whether you need to add or subtract. Give that one a tick. Really important that you check if it's asking you to add or subtract, take away. You're going to need to use your knowledge of place value to help you to calculate. Remember, looking at the tens digits. And check that your answer is sensible. So when you've got an answer, have a look, because if I work out 275 plus 20 and my answer comes to 475, that's not a sensible answer. Or if my answer was less than the number that I started with. If I'm adding, my answer's going to be bigger. So if I start with 275 and then my answer is 255, well, that's smaller. So that's not a sensible answer. You need to be checking that your answers are sensible. Pause the video and have a go. Great. Let's have a look at the answers. Check and see how you got on. Well done, brilliant. Okay, so this week we've been looking at turns and we've been learning all about right angles. But today we're going to be looking at comparing angles. So we need to be able to know what a right angle looks like. You're going to need to be able to name acute angles and obtuse angles. That's what we're going to be learning in a moment. And you're going to be having to recognise whether an angle is smaller or larger than a right angle. So let's start off. Well, you all know now what a right angle looks like. You've got your anglemeter, I've got mine here, and I can put it up and measure right angles. And I'm sure you found lots and lots of right angles all around your home yesterday. Now, when we have a right angle, if you just watch for a moment, I can turn my right angle into, well, any direction. So it could be a right angle facing that way. It could be a right angle pointing downwards, pointing over that way, but it's always staying the same shape. Also, it stays the same shape if I make it larger or smaller. Oh, it's vanishing there. So if I make it really large, then you can see that the shape of the angle doesn't change. The distance between the two lines always stays the same. Now that distance is measured in degrees, and a right angle is always going to measure exactly 90 degrees. Now, I'm wondering if you can show me your angle arms for a right angle. There we are, just a reminder. One arm straight up, the other one out at the side, and that is a right angle. Now, the next thing I want you to do, the arm that's pointing up, can you pull that down towards the other one so that it goes across in front of your face? And now we can see here that this is making a smaller angle, and this is called an acute angle. So we start with 90 degrees, arm up, then you put your arm down towards your face, and this angle here is called an acute angle. It's not the same as a right angle, it's smaller than a right angle, you can see, but the space between the two lines gets smaller. So angles smaller than a right angle are called acute angles. Now then, put your angle arms back up to a right angle, and then we're going to ask you to keep the angle, the arm that's pointing upwards up, but then let the other arm slowly go down towards your legs. And then that's making an angle which is larger than a right angle. And that is called an obtuse angle. So an obtuse angle is an angle that is larger than a right angle. So here are some pictures of acute angles. You can see some of them are really quite, some of them have really quite a small space between the lines. Some of them have quite a large space between the lines, but none of them are the same as the right angle. And I can put my right angle over the top, and if I line up the lines, you can see that it doesn't quite match. Now, what have I got here? Well, I've got this lovely little cute kitten. Because if you look at the word acute, it has the word cute in it. So we've got an acute angle, and this is a cute kitten. So that helps you to remember that an acute angle is smaller than a right angle. Remembering, acute is the angle that is less than a right angle. As it says here, acute angles are less than a right angle. They are between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. So that's acute angles that are smaller. What about angles that are larger than 90 degrees? Well, I've already told you they're called obtuse angles. So obtuse angles are angles larger than a right angle, and they measure more than 90 degrees. So you can see we've got an angle there, which is more than a right angle, an angle there, which is more than a right angle, and an angle there, which is bigger than a right angle. Now, just for a bit of Friday fun, we're going to have a look at this song all about angles.
Between 0 and 90, an angle is acute. This angle's small and skinny and kinda cute. It looks like a V or the top of a Y, or the angles that you see eating pizza or pie.
Angles are measured in degrees, and here's how to remember them with ease.
See, when an angle measures 90, do we call it right? You can tell this angle just by sight. It looks like an L or the corner of a square. You're looking at them when you're walking up the stairs.
Angles are measured in degrees, and here's how to remember
Okay, so bit of fun for a Friday. So now on to your tasks. So green and blue, you're going to do the same 3 first tasks, and then there's an extension task for blue. So the task 1 is to complete the sentences and then label the different angles. Task 2 is looking at angles on a clock face and seeing if you can identify which of those angles are acute, obtuse or right angles. And then task 3 is thinking about this shape and what Nicholas and Carla are saying about the shape. And it's the question thinking about right angles. And the extension task today is to draw your own shape with 2 acute angles and 2 obtuse angles. You might need to try it out a few times. Use a ruler. Try it out a few times to make sure you're getting the angles correct. Yellow task. Task 1. Same as green and blue. You need to complete the sentences and then match the angles to their correct name. Task 2 is labelling some angles, and you can use your angle eater to help you. That's fine to use your angle eater. And then task 3 is looking at the angles on the clock. So I hope you have fun looking at those today. Don't forget to send in your work by 3:30 if you can, and then the lesson for Monday will be available from 5 o'clock on Sunday. See you all again next week. Take care. Bye.